Welcome to a new episode of Ausfahrt.tv in what I call English, and I'm your host, Mr. Z. Well, I'm trying not to be too emotional because this is a dream car even for me, and I'm driving a whole bunch of cars. I confess I am a Mercedes fanboy, and here it is, the all-new Mercedes-AMG C63S Coupe. And I'm a little bit in love. Welcome to a new episode of Ausfahrt.tv in what I call English. I'm your host, Mercedes fanboy, Mr. Z. And for those of you who haven't seen our show yet, our format, welcome to. It's always the same. Our reviews are pretty long, very intense, very in-depth. But we have jump markers in the description text of this very video. So our videos are always separated in the same chapters, and you can use jump markers to jump from chapter to chapter. So if you're not interested in my introduction, even it's worth watching, I promise, then you just jump to the next section, chapter, whatever. Or you just watch 2 chapters today and 2 chapters tomorrow. Today, in this review, it's all about this beauty, this baby, my new love, the all-new Mercedes-AMG C63S Coupe. Well, I'm not doing this for a long time. I started like 4 years ago, and I remember 3 years ago, I had this one invitation. I was invited down to Stuttgart by ZF, and I was driving down with a 911 and picked up the C63 AMG Coupe. And driving down with a Porsche was already great, but driving back for me as a Mercedes fanboy, my first AMG model ever, was so exciting and so emotional for me that when they presented the new C63, the Mercedes-AMG C63, I was like, well, you know, can it really keep up with the old one? Is it better? Or is this just, you know, a little bit more rounded and all that? So I'm so excited that I'm finally here and I'm finally able to drive and introduce you this baby. Actually, I'm standing here now for a couple of hours and presenting you the car instead of driving, which is sad, but I do it for you guys. In 1982, Mercedes-Benz presented a car called internally W201, which is now supposed to be the first version of the Mercedes-Benz C-Class. Back then they called the car 190. I used to own one, by the way. Well, now we're having the 5th product generation. It was introduced, at least the Sedan, in January 2015 in Detroit on the NIAS. Later this year, later 2014, at the Paris Motor Show, they introduced the AMG version of the Sedan and the T model, so the E-State version. And this year, 2015, at the Frankfurt Motor Show, they presented the Coupe. And not only the regular version, but the AMG version as well. In 2007, Mercedes-Benz presented the C63 AMG. Back then it was called this way. And with over 40,000 units, it was the best-selling model from AMG whatsoever. And inside the product family, the Coupe was the best-selling part of the model family. Of course, we see competitors, and I'm limit myself to the German ones, so the big ones, Audi and BMW. We see the BMW M4 Coupe. You find a review of that in our channel as well. It's linked in the description of this video. And the Audi RS5 Coupe. And here's the beauty, the V8 made by AMG, one man, one engine. But before I get to this, let me first tell you, of course, there are more severe versions of the C Coupe and, of course, less powerful engines, more efficient engine, I should say. So we got petrol engines with 156 horsepower, 184 horsepower, 211 and 245 horsepower. And then 2 diesel engines with 170 and 204 horses. So the efficient models always come either with a manual 6-speed or with a 7-speed automatic transmission called 7G-tronic Plus. The 204 horsepower diesel engine even has a 9G-tronic, so 9-speed automatic transmission. And so far all the C-Class coupes come with rear-wheel drive. Well, AMG is introducing even 2 models of the high-performance C Coupe. We have the C63 and the C63S. Both have the same engine, the 4-liter V8 that was introduced with the AMG GT. The C63 without the S comes with 476 horses and is good for maximum torque of 650 Newton meter. But of course, we begged Mercedes, please give us the strongest version, and here it is. We got the C63S. So, the 4-liter V8 has 510 horses. It's good for maximum torque of 700 Newton meters. And you get them in a range between 1,750 and 4,500 RPM. By the way, you shift automatically, or the car shifts automatically with the AMG Speed Shift MCT 7-speed sport automatic transmission. Allow me to give you the basic facts about our test car, the 2015 Mercedes-AMG C63S Coupe. It accelerates from 0 to 100 km per hour or 62 miles per hour in just 3.9 seconds. This top speed is reached at 250 km per hour or 155 miles per hour. Unless you buy as an option the AMG driver's package, and then you get a top speed of 290 km per hour, which equals 180 miles per hour. The gas tank of the 2015 Mercedes-AMG C63S Coupe is good for 66 liters, equals 17.5 gallons. Mercedes-Benz claims a fuel consumption of just 8.6 liters on 100 kilometers or 27.3 miles per gallon. Oh yeah, right. Which means that under perfect conditions you can drive up to 760 kilometers or 470 miles without getting gas here. In terms of CO2 emissions, Mercedes claims that the C63S Coupe sets free 200 grams per kilometer. The Mercedes C63 Coupe has a length of 4.75 meters, which equals 187 inches, with a wheelbase of 2.84 meters or 112 inches. The coupe is 1.4 meters high, so 55 inches, and 1.88 meters wide, so 74 inches. As of the turning circle, you need at least 11.3 meters or 37.1 feet of free space. The curb weight is 1,725 kilograms or 3,803 pounds. The admissible total weight is 2,160 kilograms, which equals 4,762 pounds. In Germany, we assume that our test car would cost around about 120,000 euros. The new C Coupe is 40 millimeters wider than the previous model. However, the AMG version is 64 centimeters wider than the regular version, 64 in the front and 66 in the back. They needed some space in the fenders for the high performance tires. By the way, the fenders are made of alloy. And so is the hood. And the hood of the AMG model is 6 centimeters, so 60 millimeters longer than the regular version, and it goes down here a little bit more. They needed some more space for the engine of the AMG models. By the way, we got 2 power domes here on the hood. I like them a lot looking on them from the outside, but that's nothing. Forget about this. If you sit inside the car and drive, you see them as well, and I personally think that's pretty sexy. Well, how do you recognize an AMG model of the C Coupe in the rear mirror? You should be able to see the twin blade grille here. with the AMB badge on the left side. The S model, this is a little bit more shiny. On the model without S, it's more dull matte. Besides that, AMG is calling the whole rear part down here A-wing. So all the air inlets are called A-wing, the whole concept. And the fins of this concept are painted in high glossy black on the S model, while on the regular or the C63 without S, it's painted in the color of the car. You can't really see it here on our model because as an option we have some carbon exterior package installed on our car. Our car seems to be pretty fully loaded. We not only have the carbon exterior package but as well the LED intelligent light system, so full LED headlights with all this curve light and cornering light and you know, everything. The new version of the C-Class Coupe is 95 millimeters longer than the previous model, and the wheelbase gained 80 millimeters. Regularly or normally you would say, well, the passengers in the rear profit of this more space, not in the coupe. Here only the driver and the passenger on the side profit of this more of space, the longer wheelbase. However, I just checked the configurator, the online configurator, the build your own C63S configurator, and they gave me 8 different colors. I'm not sure if this brilliant blue metallic is one of them, but for sure you can order it as a special color. And what I like, I told you the fenders are wider than the ones from the regular model, and here we got the VHB turbo badge, and if you look, you know, they really stands it in here, which looks pretty neat. You can order the C63 and the C63S with either 19 or 20-inch alloys, or even with a mix like our test car has. We got 19-inch on the front, 20-inch on the back. And we got Michelin Super Sport tires, so high-performance tires, 255/35, ZR19 on the front, and 285/30 ZR20 on the back. Difference between S and no S. The no S has disc brakes with a diameter of 360 millimeters in the front and in the back, while the S model has at the front 390 millimeters. But our car's fully loaded. So here we got the, you see it, you know, this orange part or copper part, the carbon ceramic brake system. It has even 402 millimeters diameter, and of course it brakes a little bit better, lasts longer, and is even good for track. Well, one more thing about the side. You see this carbon inlay here on the side skirt. Well, regularly, if we wouldn't have the carbon package, this would be silver on the S model, while on the regular model it's just colored in the paint of the car. Okay, let's check out the back. We have the third braking light up here at the lower part of the window in full LED technique, and the rear lights, everything which is blinking and lightning and whatever is full LED. Here on the right side, the C63S badge. On the left side, the AMG badge. And since we have the carbon package, the spoiler on the lid of the trunk is in carbon, as well as down here, this part. I think this spoiler looks a little bit, I don't know, but at least in carbon fiber it's nice. Besides that, down here we have the diffuser. Both the diffuser and the spoiler are good for the downforce. We need lots of downforce because all the traction we need has to be on the rear axis, because here's where all the 700 Newton meters go. Besides that, we have this AMG Sport exhaust pipe system, 4 pipes in the rear in black chrome, that's what they call it. So you have one flap you can enable or disable for more sound. As an option, you get a Sport exhaust system with 2 flaps as well, so you have a button with 2 stages for even more sound. I cannot imagine the more sound because this already sounds pretty well. What I personally don't like too much about the new version of the Coupe, the 205, is that the rear windows are not being able to, that you cannot pull them down or drive them down or do whatever. They're just standing there all the time. You cannot lower the windows. They're fixed. And I don't like this. I like coupes where you can, you know, roll everything down and then you have this wide space. However, at least the doors, here the windows are frameless. And if you look at this, it's a pretty big door, isn't it? Well, you need a big frame to enter the car. And here's a beautiful AMG door sill panel where the AMG badge is even eliminated. But I want to jump in now, right? Well, this is one of the moments where I'm thinking, I like this format, you know, walking around the car for hours instead of driving this beast. Why shouldn't I just turn on the engine now and leave Toby here with the camera? Well, as you see, it's easy to get inside the car and I had no problems closing the door. So, yeah, let me show you the interior. Oh yeah, come on. Well, it's getting dark out there. Let's put off my shades, and this is a little spoiler for the compartment check later on. I'm sitting in the new C63S Coupe, and I like it. I really like it. We got leather up here, brushed alloy down here, a little soft touch. Even the lid of the gloves compartment has soft touch on it. This huge center part covered with carbon optics, at least carbon application. Leather here, leather in the doors, Alcantara, and this brushed alloy once again. And up here, leather. Or at least artificial leather. But I think it's leather. Close on the ceiling. Everything feels fine. Very nice. However, it does not feel like a spacious car at all. Actually, it feels like a really sporty car. This huge carbon fiber application here grows, you know, to the top, so it makes me think, okay, I'm tightened up. Actually, I have space. You know, I have lots of space. You know, even for my head, I have more than a fist between me and my head. To the side where Toby is sitting, lots of space. But I feel, you know, it feels sporty and tight. And I'm focused on the road. I see the power domes. That's pretty awesome. Okay, but I'm just 180 centimeters tall, so 5'11". Let's see how Toby can sit in here. You know, he's 195 centimeters tall, so 6'5". Can he sit and drive in the C63S Coupe?
Okay, guys. Hello from me, and thanks to Jan. I had trouble to find a good sitting position, or to find an okay sitting position, because the backrest, I would put it way more up actually, but I can't. It's like the uprightest position possible, and the steering wheel's not coming out that much, so I have to stretch forward a lot to get on the steering wheel. And yeah, well, from my head space it's okay, and from my leg space like this it's okay as well. But actually I would get rid of some of the leg space to be closer to the steering wheel to drive better and more comfortable. But yeah, I think you should check it out if you want to buy this car and you're taller than 190 centimeters or 195 centimeters. You should really check it out and get a ride along with it, especially because the inner mirror and the hood are blocking my field of view to the right a lot. So just check it out, and yeah, back to you, Jan.
Well, thanks, Toby. I think all the tall guys and viewers really appreciate your effort. Okay, talking about using the car, the whole center is not facing the driver at all. It's facing the rear, which is kind of sad, especially for the display, the free floating display that everyone is hating, but I like it. It would be so neat if I could flip it a little bit to my side. However, it's not, it's all centered here. Overall, it's a standard Mercedes. Once you know one, you can use this easily. I'm a little bit disappointed because I think Mercedes is tricking, you know. When they introduced the new C-Class, it was all clean and tightened up, you know, and I was like, ooh, no buttons, hardly any buttons anymore, like in the S-Class. But now if you look, we have the air condition. Okay, that was there all the time. And the infotainment, yeah. done. But now here we got buttons, you know, like the button or the switch to change the driving programs, put the car in manual, change the suspension setting, here for the flaps of the exhaust pipe, and this one for the thing that reaches you the belt. So button C, and on the left of the steering wheel all the buttons of the assist systems. So quite a bunch of buttons everywhere, just hidden a little bit neatly, you know. Yeah. Okay, let's start. I don't have something to adjust the height of the seatbelt on my shoulder, but I have a butler who's reaching me the belt. And I would like to show you the length of the belt so you can see if you will have problems buckling up. We got the AMG sport seat, and I confess I am a Mercedes fanboy, but even without being this, I think all the AMG sport seats are pretty awesome. You can sit in them for a long time. They're very comfortable on one hand, but then they give you so much great side support that they are good for sporty driving. I love them. And even I haven't driven this car for a long time now, I already feel how comfortable they are. And since we drove down here a little curvy road, a little bit faster, I can say side support is awesome. Besides that, you can adjust the side support even on the cushion as well as on your back with two buttons here, or two switches. Besides that, we have an electric lumbar support, which works fine, up and down and out and in. And we can adjust the seats all the ways we want to. We can even extend the seat cushion for people with longer legs. Besides that, from the design, we got perforated leather and some white application. It's either Alcantara or, this rough leather to have a little, something for your eye. And you find this white as well in the steering wheel on the 12 o'clock marker. You can heat the seats up in 3 intensities. I'm not sure if you can get an air-cooled sports seat. I don't think so. Would make sense so. Okay, the seats, I got everything. Here's the steering wheel. You can adjust it electrically, and I'm trying to show you the radius. So that's very low and very out. Now all the way in, pretty slow. And once again, all the way up. Yeah. Well, if you drive this car, you don't adjust the steering wheel all the time, so I won't bother you that it's going so slow. However, that's all the way you got. I had no problems finding a good sitting position. The steering wheel itself, it's a leather steering wheel with a flat bottom, so a sports steering wheel with an AMB badge down here in the silver application. A 12 o'clock mark, I told you already. And on the side where you grip, you have this rough leather again, or maybe Alcantara, I'm not sure. We got shifting pedals. You can reach them easily, and they feel like alloy or at least metal, so it's a nice feeling. And for all the dummies like me, they have even, some words on them, down on the left side and up on the right side. What is it good for? I never use some. No, just kidding. It's a multifunctional sports steering wheel as well. So we got buttons on the left side to control the board computer and to stop a speech command. On the right side, we can enable the speech command, take a phone call, hang up, and adjust the volume of the infotainment system. When I look in the mirrors, I see first of all again the carbon fiber covers. Nice. The mirrors themselves, they're not really big, I have to say, but they're big enough to see all the traffic behind you. And same with the the rear mirror, however, is pretty big. You see the whole rear window, but it doesn't help you really because it's a small slot you see, and everything, for instance, kids younger than 4 years, you wouldn't recognize over the rear mirror. However, we do have a 360-degree bird view camera is an option on our car. I like how the rear camera is protected against rain and mud and whatever dust. It flips out from the Mercedes star in the back. However, this works fine, and you have one side with a bird view and the other side just with a rear camera. Pretty neat. And I can enable and disable it over a button right here. If I turn my head around my shoulder, my left shoulder, I get nuts. I was driving this car for a little while already, you know, and when I was trying to change the lanes, I was like, yeah, oh no, I don't see anything. So if you turn your head around, you see a pretty big blind spot. The B-pillar is pretty big and you hardly see the window behind it. What you see is a small slot of the window and then the C-pillar again. So here is a blind spot for sure. On the other side around, A-pillar fine, B-pillar fine. The window makes sense now. And even the C-pillar, I don't mind too much. Except that the window, as I told you before, is pretty high. So you don't see what's down there. But overall, it's not too bad. The overview to this side, fine. To this side, no, not mine at least. Okay, let's go. Our cockpit. We have two classical round gauges. On the left side, speedometer up to 320 kilometers per hour. Car runs 290 at least with a AMG driver package. On the right side, the RPM meter with 8,000 RPM, while the red range starts at 7,000 RPM. On the lower part of this round gauges, we have on the left side the control of the fuel tank. It's made with little LED dots. On the right side, we got the water temperature. In between the round things, we have a display, pretty big, even like an iPhone 6 Plus, for the board computer. And if you have the board computer, you got the digital speed, the mileage of the car, the range of the car, you know, from reset, some data about the driving from the start. And you can go to different other options like the navigation system, the radio, the media player, telephone, some assistant or the graphics of the car assist systems, service menu, the settings, and an AMG menu. Wow, you know. First view is the temperature of oil and water and the boost level. As well, you see the speed digitally. And then a G-force meter and a screen where you see what settings you have. And a lap timer even. Well, pretty neat. I know from driving the C63 as a sedan that you can read this pretty neatly during nighttime as well as during daytime. Same for the display. I know a bunch of people hate this free-floating display. I like it. I just would, you know, flip it towards me. The navigation system is good. The picture is sharp. Everything works fine. By now, you know, I'm a Mercedes fanboy. When I first saw the system, I was like, yeah, wow, look, awesome. Nowadays, I think, well, you know, a little less animation and a little faster system would be nice, you know, like Windows, for instance, you know, Windows XP, where you could say, oh, it's all blinking and shining, or you just disable the whole stuff and have a faster system. I would appreciate something for this system as well. Okay, we got an ambient light. No, stop. We had a head-up display. Our car comes with a head-up display with the AMG look right now. So I got the digital speed and bar, which shows me how much RPM I'm going, plus the current driving program, or if you're in manual, the current gear. And I like this. You can read it easily. Did I mention the power domes already? So sexy, really. Okay, now we got an ambient light in our car. There are two different ways to get an ambient light in the C-Class. The first one is with all sorts of colors you can choose from. The other one, just 3 colors. That's the one we have here, blue, white, and yellow, or orange, yellow, whatever it is. We don't have a sunroof. I'm not sure if the AMG version comes with a sunroof at all. I know the regular version is available with a huge panoramic sunroof, and that would be my personal Well, I would prefer this a coupe in white with a black sunroof, you know, panoramic sunroof that opens all the way, like it. Personal taste, just for me. Okay, and what else is missing? The horn. Here's the horn, and that's how it sounds like. And on we go to the compartment check. You don't care, well, just, you know, hop to the next chapter. I think it's pretty interesting. If I would like to take this car to track, you know, I still have to make it to the track, and I want to know, can I put all my stuff in here? So in the doors we have compartments where we can store, I think, a ½ liter bottle at least, and have even more space for a wallet or whatever. That's all the water they gave us here. Shame on them. By the way, the ground or the floor of the compartment is covered with an anti-slip surface, but the sides, it's just hard plastic. Ooh. Here's nothing. And here we come to this lid, you know, with the AMG badge. Ooh. Down here we find a 12-volt outlet for a maximum of 15 ampere. And next to it is a little compartment, anti-slip surface, where I put my iPhone. Then we have 2 cup holders with spacers on the side, 4 spacers for each holder. And this bottle is shaking slightly. I think you can put up to 1 liter bottles on here, or you just unclip it and throw it away if you don't drink in your car. Then you have just another compartment with an anti-slip surface. Oops. Okay, but it's more beautiful to close this baby down. 1 button to open it all. Here we got another compartment. You can show this. Does this bottle fit in here? No, not really. So this is just too high already. Here we got 2 USB ports and an SD card reader. And as an option, you can put something in here to hold your phone. By the way, it's covered with clothes inside. The gloves compartment, I don't like at all at the C-Class, because it just opens this tiny bit. You can hardly reach in from the driver's side. It's illuminated by a little light, not LED for sure. And we have space for the board material, maybe a little bit more. However, I don't like it. It's, you know, annoying. But you can lock it separately. Maybe a little hint for the upcoming C-Class convertible, if there is one. In both sun shields we have makeup mirrors that are illuminated and a little clip for the tickets aside. I already showed you the compartment up here for the shades. We have reading lights for the driver and the passenger, which is shown here. So the lights are in the rear mirror, or you put in the whole light and it enables this LED spots here as well. Did I turn those off? No. Yes. My favorite button in the whole C-Class Coupe, however, is this one. You know, here I got my rocket launcher. Why should it be red anyway? Well, it's the SOS button, and so that you don't push it by accident, they have this little thing up here. I think it's pretty neat. Rocket launcher or North. And, you know, get some North in here. Oops. Yeah, I think that we don't have handles and any door, and that's pretty much it. So I can finally hop in the back, I guess. Well, yeah, you can call me Mr. Z Danger Seeker, because of course I'm trying to crawl in the rear. All I have to do, pull the handle here on the driver's seat, same on the other side of course, and I can flip the backrest a little bit and the seat drives forward automatically, electrically a little bit. So yeah, I'm happy. Let's do it. Right, Toby, maybe you? Okay, I'll just shut up now and climb in. Let's see. Okay, I am really impressed. I'm 180 centimeters tall. The driver's seat is put in a position that a person with my dimensions can sit fine and drive great. And I can still sit behind this person. My leg space is limited. My knees are knocking against the sports seats back. However, I could imagine sitting here even for a longer while, like an hour or so, a few kilometers. This is not the problem really. The problem is my head space. I'm touching the ceiling with my head, and if I want to use the headrest, I have to put my head this way. That's not really, fun. But just sitting here this way, just for an hour or two, it would be fine. I wouldn't scream yeah and yippee hey, I would rather drive, but it would be okay, Okay, let's look around. I put my little water bottle here. On my side I have two little compartments, not anti-slip or anything, but I could put this bottle in here easily, even 1.5 liter bottle or something. There's another cup holder in the center with 3 different sizes and different deep. So this bottle is shaking around, there are no spacers, but it would work at least, fine. In the center we have 2 air stream outlets, and you can, enable, disable them. Down here's a little compartment, I think totally useless. For the kids we have Isofix hooks on both seats, and the locks of the safety belts are stable, so kids could buckle up themselves easily. But I have strong doubts that this seatbelt is long enough to really buckle up a child seat or even baby shelf. So if you're dreaming now, oh, great car and all that, my kids are still small, they can sit here all right, you might want to take your child seat or baby shelf, drive to the dealer and put it in the car, test it out yourself. I have doubts. Besides that, the material here in the back is as nice as in the front. Leather, at the side even. And the seats are a little bit formed out. I have even a little bit of side support. What you see up here is not a reading light. It's just an entry light. That's pretty sad. And we have hooks for a jacket on both sides and no handles or anything. That's it. I don't have to talk more than the stuff to tell you, I guess. Every once in a while people tell me, are you stupid? That's a sports car, it's an emotional car, and you're trying to show me the trunk. Yes, indeed, because if you really want to buy this car, you want to know how much space you have in the trunk, right? So before we show you the trunk, here's the key. It's a regular Mercedes key. On the rear side we have the AMG logo, badge, whatever. On the other side, lock, unlock and unlock the trunk. I think it's a failure by Mercedes in terms of design and functionality. The same that they did on the S-Class Coupe. You cannot open the trunk here. You have no button. You can push the star as much as you want. Neither here you find anything. You have to have the key to open the lid, or you push the button in the driver's door. So I got the key here and I'm pushing it and up it goes. That's not electric. It's just mechanically that it springs on. Here's our tripod case. It fits in here, but just in the front part. If you're trying to push it in the rear, it's not enough space. And here's my measuring tape, and I can tell you, you have to lift all the stuff 79 centimeters or 31 inches up, and then it goes, 20 centimeters or 8 inches down. We have a depth here, at least on the sides of 1 meter and 2, so 40 inches, and a wide of 95, 96 centimeters, so 37.5 inches. In the back, where it's more narrow, and here where we have a little bit more space, it's almost 110 centimeters, so 43 inches. And you have a height, at least in the front, because in the back it's limited, of 44 centimeters, which is 17 inches. And the difference between here and there to put stuff in is almost 40 centimeters, so around about 16 inches. I have to take off my glasses to see everything. I can lift the floor, and there are tiny compartments here, I think for the tire fit kit, but it's not in here. They probably put it out for the driving event. On the left side behind the wheel we have a little compartment divided by a net for a warning vest and the first aid kit. And we have 2 rings to tie up things. On the right side we have a little lamp. Doesn't look like an LED, so. Besides that, on both sides we got handles that I can pull to release the rear seats that I can flip now. If you flip the rear seats, you don't have a plain surface. Actually, the trunk itself has a dent in it already, and here it's rising up. However, now we have a length of 160 centimeters or 63 inches to load stuff. And just to give you the number, the height of this frame is 32 centimeters, so 12.5 inches. Yeah, and the width is, I don't know, 96 inches. 96 centimeters, so that's almost 38 inches. By the way, the warning triangles here on the inside the lid, and here's another little lamp. You can store up to 360 kilograms inside the C63S Coupe, which is almost 800 pounds. I didn't find a value if you can put anything on the roof, but I'm very, very sure there's no possibility that you install a hook for pulling trailers. Let me share my driving impressions with you here with a C63S Coupe. And I have to confess, I only drove around about 200 kilometers the last 2 days, well, this day and yesterday. Well, yesterday was mainly on the Spanish highway, and that's a really boring drive. Yeah, it's boring because you have a speed limit of 120 kilometers per hour, and that's it, you know. You hardly have to shift this car once to reach the top the speed limit, and it was just a put in cruise control, that's it, you know. So today was a little bit more exciting. We drove through the countryside, curvy roads, up and down, some hills, and yeah, it gave me a little bit of feeling what this car can do. Yesterday I could have had the chance to drive on track, on a Ascari racetrack, but I denied because otherwise we couldn't deliver the whole review, and I think it's more important for our format to show you everything. And maybe we get this car as a test car in Germany in a couple of months again, and then we test this, you know, on our favorite roads. So first of all, we have this driving agility switch, however you call it, Fahrerlebnisschalter, I don't know. You can switch between different driving modes. You got Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus and Race, and Individual. So you can get your own setup. You have influence on the engine, you know, how responsive the throttle is, the suspension, Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus, the shifting times of the automatic transmission, the 7-speed, the Sport exit pipe system with a flap, and the ESP. For the ESP you got 3 different states. You got it on, off, well, off is not really off, but it hardly does anything, and a sport mode. I would like to start out with the suspension. While I was reviewing the C63S Sedan, I was a little bit disappointed about the comfort in the driving program Comfort, which was really not comfortable at all. It still was pretty stiff setup, And I thought, well, if you buy this car and you just want to, you know, run the errands, do groceries, do whatever, you know, drive to the track, whatever, it's just too uncomfortable to drive. And they really did something with the setup here. It's much more comfortable in comfort. I would even say it's a comfortable ride now in comfort. And I asked the specialist who was here, and he told me that they listened to their customers and the press people who said the same thing that I did, and so they did more comfort in the comfort setting without losing the sportiness setup in Sport Plus and Race. So you can still race this car on track, or race with this car on track. However, you can go and do your errands without hurting your back as well. And I like this. That's pretty neat. I'm really pleased that they changed this. Well, the engine has 510 horses, and you feel them. If you accelerate, and you know, we had the speed limit of 120 here in Spain, so it was not really possible to get the whole acceleration, but you have an idea that this car is just going nuts if you put the throttle. You know, it just jumps forward and does not stop whatsoever. That's really great. You have a lot of power, and you feel this power once you accelerate. On the other end, the brakes, we have the carbon ceramic AMG Sport brake here. I love those brakes. I mean, 5,000 euros as an option, but you really feel that they can slow down the car at any point. Or, you know, in an emergency brake, no problems with the brakes. And I think, well, even if you're not going on track, but you have the money, just invest it in the brakes. They're awesome. Just plain awesome. The suspension, I was pleased about the comfort setting. Today on the country roads, I was going in Sport Plus most of the time, and it gives you an idea what is possible, or it gave me an idea what is possible. The setup is really nice. Yes, it's stiff like hell, you know, you feel every little gravel on the road, but that's the way you want it, to corner really fast, to take really sharp corners in a fast way. Cannot really say much about the 7-speed automatic, sport automatic transmission by AMG, except it works. In comfort, it shifts seamless. You don't notice this. If you're in Sport Plus, it always gives you this, you know, hit in the back. But that's supposed to be. If you use the shifting pedals, you feel no delay whatsoever. The gears are in at once, so that's very, very nice. Regarding the sound, once you drive in comfort, it is a silent runner. Even on the autobahn, on the highway. Wind noises start around about, I think, well, actually at 120, like really notable. However, the engine, if you're going in comfort, you hardly hear it unless you push the throttle really hard. Then you hear the engine, well, or you just turn on the flap or open the flap, and then the sound is there straight away. So driving in Sport Plus is really fun for your ears. You hear this baby shift, and it's just, you know, and once you shift down, it spits out and backfires. It's really, I like it just for the sound, you know. You don't even have to drive the car. Just listening to the sound is really fun and amazing. I like it. The steering is perfectly fine. It's already pretty direct in comfort. So once you fool around with steering wheels, the wheels react suddenly. Once you put the steering in Sport Plus, I don't think there's a big difference between Sport and comfort. However, in Sport Plus it gets even more direct, and it's a little bit stiffer. You need a little bit more power to move the steering wheel, which is good and feels good in while cornering on the road. Well, the C63S Coupe comes with all the assist systems, you know, from the regular C-Class. So we got a blind spot warner, little triangle in the mirror, a lane keeping assist, which scans for the lanes and keeps you actively in the lanes. So you could actually put your hands off the steering wheel for a certain while. And adaptive cruise control. The cruise control together with the active lane keeping assist give you a traffic jam assist, and it's sort of, you know, Tesla is calling this autopilot. Okay, well, Mercedes calls it traffic jam assist. Whatever. We have a traffic signs recognition function which works fine even here in Spain with all the traffic, with all the speed limits. And overall, yeah, everything you want or need, you know, depends on your what you favor. Besides that, we do have the Burmester premium sound system in our test car.
Please leave the roundabout.
We were listening a little bit yesterday. It's good, but not awesome, period. I would buy it, certainly, but it's not like that really, wow, you need it, you want it. However, most of the time we were driving without music because the sound of the car is just nice. Well, that's it. That's the end of our review about the Mercedes-AMG C63S Coupe. And let me sum up. Alright, we got this 4 criteria we always name at the end, or judge sort of at the end of our review. First of all is driving fun. What do you expect? What do you think? Of course, this is a little monster, a shy little monster, and once you put the throttle, it freezes the smile in your face, really. It's pretty amazing. Driving this beast is just pure fun if you have the right roads. I mean, if you can drive fast enough, you know. Here in Spain we got speed limits all over the place. They sent us over a curvy mountain country road, and I was like, when I saw it on the navigation system, I was yeah. And then 50 kilometers per hour the whole way, and sometimes even 30 in front of some tight corners. And it's still fun to drive, but I would really love to have this babe at home where we have our roads. We always drive with those cars, and to really judge it, but it's fun. Believe me, it's fun. Second, usage as a daily driver. Well, if you expect to get a full-size sedan, sort of, this one is just, you know, rubbish. But it's a coupe, so if you think about, well, I need 2 seats and maybe every once in a while 2 more, this is fine. The trunk is okay. It's not too bad, actually. We had like 3 carry-on luggage pieces in there and our tripod case. Normal people don't have a tripod case, so I think you can even have 2 big suitcases in the trunk, which is enough for 2 people to go on a holiday or do whatever. The mileage, fuel consumption. We've driven around about 50, 60, 70 kilometers today, a little bit on the Spanish highway, speed limit 120, a little bit on those curvy country roads, and we have a fuel consumption of 15.9 liters. Well, this is not really, no, actually I think that's what you have to calculate, period, because we didn't really, you know, go fast on the Autobahn or something, and we didn't really push the car to its limit, so you can have some more, you can burn some more gas, of course. And I think if you really try to drive very carefully and all that, you can have less, but if you drive that way, you won't have much fun, I assume. Last but not least, driving comfort. When I reviewed the C63 Sedan, I was all actually pissed off because even in comfort, the car was pretty rough from the suspension, not comfortable at all. I talked to the guy and they fixed something about the suspension. They made the range wider between comfort and sport, and I'm really excited about the comfort driving program, because once you put the car in comfort, it is comfortable, really comfortable to drive. For a sports car, more than comfortable. Besides that, the seats are just awesome. I'm in love with the seats. Well, yeah, that's it. Would I buy this car if I had enough money? Maybe, I don't know. I think it's pretty awesome. I'm still in love with the previous model, the 204, so I have to get used to the shape. I think the other one was more edgy, more rough, you know, more powerful from the design. And this one is very smooth, very slick. I think it looks a little bit like a mix between the AMG GT and the S-Class Coupe, which is not bad at all. Okay, that's it. I hope you liked this review. If you did, please give us a thumb up. If you want to do us something good, you can share this video on the social networks like Twitter, Facebook or Google+, or just put them in your private playlist on YouTube. That helps us to grow. Please tell your friends, your colleagues, your family about us if you like us, because we need more international viewers. And if you really want to support us in a financial way, money, you know, you can do so as well. We offer Patreon and Tippy for those guys who are wealthy and think, well, those poor Germans, you know, buy yourself some English. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. All the questions you have, please put them in the comments and we're trying to answer. But be aware, we didn't have the car too long, so we couldn't try out everything. That's it from my side. I hope you tune back in next time when it's again Ausfahrt.tv in what I call English. And I'm still your host, Mr. Z. Goodbye. I would like to say that, of course, LED and 80 millimeters of those 95. The driver who profit of the more space, blah, ist scheiße, ne? While getting in the car was not too complicated, I can tell you that getting out of the car, well, you have to have a certain technique and the right figure, of course. You know, this well-shaped body. Well, I can tell you, I would not let my mother-in-law jump on the rear seat because she would hate me for this.